Ah, picture perfect. Henry Estate Winery is only a few miles west of Sutherland off Interstate 5. Highway 9, just across the Umpqua River.
Remember when we met Scotty Henry at the Newport Seafood and Wine Festival? He said he'd have a surprise for you today.
Good.
Please get his father, Scott Henry, to tell you about his innovation for trellising vines.
Yes, but first we taste the fruits of his labor.
The Henrys have been here in the Umpqua for 5 generations. What a heritage.
Later on today, it's the annual Henry Goes Wine event. They have all kinds of music, from blues to rock. Today, it's the Oregon Old Time Fiddlers.
After we taste a little Class in the Glass.
Sounds like a song, Classical Glass.
I think that's classical gas.
Real class.
All right.
Hey.
Try this on for size.
Henry Estate.
Is that cool?
That's cool.
Now you love my hat.
I love your hat.
Henry Estate says Henry
It
Estates?
says Henry Estate.
That just sounds like wine to me, Henry Estates.
It sure does. Let's try another
Let's
Chardonnay.
try our Chardonnay. Chardonnay and Pinot Noir are the focus of the winery. 80% of the vineyard production and 80% of the winery production are devoted to these two varieties. And to that end, we searched for a couple of different styles. We're more known for our fuller-bodied oak-aged wines, but we also make a style of wine that we call Umpqua Cuvée. They're a light, fruity, refreshing style, made to sell in the stores for $8 to $9 a bottle. This Chardonnay, in contrast, is very atypical of Chardonnay, I should say domestic Chardonnay, in that it has potential of aging for quite some time. We feel up to 6 to 10 years.
Quite a bit more oaky.
Well, we've got a lot more structure in the wine. They were not only fermented in the barrel, but aged in the oak barrel. But this variety, Pinot Noir, has only shown consistent success, obviously, in the Burgundy region of France, where it has had its heritage for centuries as the red variety and the noble variety of France. But other than that, in the New World, only in the cooler coastal regions of California and Western Oregon.
Looks to me like you have quite a thing going on here today. Now you've got Henry Goes Wine.
This is Henry Goes Wine, and the reason why Henry went wine is because we've done everything else on this piece of ground, from Italian prunes and wheat, oats, hay, pasture ground, cattle, sheep. It's now wine.
The Henrys finally found their niche. And I found Scott Henry Sr.
Here what we do is we run 2 levels of fruit. This one is trained up, this one is trained down, and so we have sort of a window that opens up in the center, and the fruit becomes very exposed, much as you would see on your head when you part your hair.
Yeah, I've had that experience.
Yeah. Some have wider parts than others. And then you can see in, and in this case, what the sun can do is see into the fruit. And once you get sunlight on the fruit consistently during the day, every day, then the quality of the fruit and the quality of the wine goes up. And now we're sort of world-renowned for the Scott Henry trellis system, which this is here. But as you begin to appreciate what's in a wine and how the wine can marry with food on the table, then you get more and more interested in dry wines, because the dry wines don't have the sugar that cover up the taste of food. And so the combination of dry wines and food are what we're really after.
Meanwhile, I found Calvin Henry, Scott's father.
The Indians and everybody, they couldn't cross rivers very easy, so they traveled to high ground.
What year did you start planting grapes here?
Well, that was about 20 years ago when Scott came back from California. I love wine with food. I was born in 1907.
Do you think you'll ever leave the Umpqua?
Oop. No, this is good enough for me.
Calvin told me the first Henrys arrived in the Umpqua on covered wagons and settled 10,000 acres. Today it's still good wine, barbecue, and Grandma Henry's pies.
Yeah, in those days it was great. The horse was the designated driver.
It's important to know you can sip or taste small amounts of wine, Morris, and still drive safely.
I've had almost 2 glasses.
Well, I've only had 1, so I'll drive.
The Henrys really know how to throw a party.
These Henrys, they're a regular dynasty, producing from start to finish some spectacular wines.
Definitely class in the glass.